Welcome, listeners. This is Ivan Franklin Rose, and this is the one about how to avoid stress and anxiety over Valentine's Day. Well, every year, couples and singles have to deal with February 14th. Today, we're going to give some ideas for both couples and singles on how to handle this very special day to some. We're going to talk about how other countries handle their romantic day. We're going to give ideas on fabulous gifts and suggestions for your loved ones. And then we'll talk about ways to handle the emotional feelings that you go through, whether you're single or coupled, on Valentine's Day, not to disappoint your loved one or being alone. We'll cover all of that. All right, so first is Japan. Valentine's Day is primarily a day for women to give chocolates to men in their lives, known as Girl Choco. It is often directed towards male coworkers or friends rather than romantic partners. Isn't that interesting? Is often directed, a month later, on White Day, each March 14th, men return the favor by giving gifts, typically white chocolate, to the women that gave them chocolates on Valentine's Day. So that's on Japan. Other countries, I know, also give something special to all their friends, coworkers. It becomes more of a friendship day as well. Italy, I believe, is one of those. And South Korea, similar to Japan, is a day where women give gifts to men, but it's known as also a day for couples to celebrate the love for each other. Many couples exchange gifts and go on romantic dates. On the 14th of April, known as Black Day, single people gather together and eat jjajangmyeon, which is black bean paste noodle, and commensurate about their single status. Very interesting how some countries handle a special day in their lives. So what do you do on Valentine's Day? Well, the first thing is to relax. Just breathe for a moment and think to yourself, if you're coupled and you're giving a gift to your special someone, and think about whether you know their love language. Now, I covered love languages in episode 15, I believe. A wonderful episode, enhanced episode on love languages. You should listen to that before Valentine's Day for sure. But know your partner's love language. What's important to them? Acts of service. There's so many things that you can do to help them do chores for them on Valentine's Day. It's not only about gifts. You can do something special for them that's meaningful to them. Physical touch and all the other wonderful love languages, depending on what they are. Know your partner and respond to it. So the other is be appropriate for the length of time that you are together. So if you're only together for a month or two, you wouldn't, chocolates and flowers are fine. But if you're together for, years, you certainly were married, you certainly can go a little deeper to some of the suggestions I'm going to give to you in a minute. If you're giving flowers, know the favorite flower of your loved one or a special someone in your life. Certain people resonate with different colored flowers, and it's more meaningful to them. Some flowers have meaning, like yellow is a friendship flower in some cases. And red is more traditional for Valentine's Day. But if your loved one likes mixed roses or other kinds of flowers, whatever flowers they like is going to be what's meaningful to them on Valentine's Day. And please, whatever you do, if you're in a long-term relationship, don't make Valentine's Day the only time you give flowers to your special someone. All right, so let's talk about ideas. Before we get into the psychology of what it means emotionally to you, let's talk about some interesting gifts that you can give to be different. All right, the first is electronic love notes. This connects to a phone app so you can deliver a message from anywhere. You can Google it, and it's a box you send out, and it may have a flower in it or a bunch of flowers, but when they open it up, it's a message that they can hear through their phone, or you can program it perhaps in a chip to say whatever message it is from your phone, that it'll play on there if it has the chip in that. You can Google electronic love notes and it'll come up. Preserve roses is number 2. I'm going to give you 10 of them all together. Preserve roses is a heart-shaped box with roses that are sort of preserved, and they're just cut from the stems, and they're in a box sitting there, and they last for longer than traditional roses. Matching underwear. If you're in a long-term relationship, that could be a cute idea. A massage candle is number 4. Now, this is a candle that melts very easily at a low temperature, and that you can pour the particular wax that comes on it, and it's like a wax oil, so that you can use it to massage your special someone. So you can Google massage candle, that'll come up. You can do a specialty chocolate box that says the chocolates spell out "I love you." They have writing on it. On top of the chocolate says printed the words I-L-O-V-E-Y-O-U on the chocolates, and they make a heart-shaped box out of it. So you can Google that. An enchanted rose light, which is a glass dome with an iridescent rose. It's a beautiful thing. It's special, and you can Google that one. Iridescent rose in a glass dome. A photo collage art. So you could take specialty photos of your life together and put it in a heart-shaped collage that you give to your special someone. That's another idea you can do. Number 8 is a personalized throw pillow. So this is a throw pillow that you've had printed, because they'll do it online. You can find people that will do this. They'll print a specialty message that you want to tell your special someone. These are all very unusual, unique gifts. I hope this helps you a little bit. A registered star. You can register a star in their name. One of the stars in the universe. There are companies that will do that, and they'll name the star after your loved one. And the last one, number 10, is a date bucket list. So a date bucket list would either be a calendar, or I've seen it in a flip card where they have pre-printed dates for each day of the year. In the calendar idea, it's where you write in different dates that you both been wanting to do, and you schedule it. And you have a list, and she can. Some people do it on a separate small card. One of those you get one of these sticky notes that the pad is so small. It's like something like 2 inches by 1 inch. You know, these sticky notes, and you write the bucket list of dates you want to go on together, and then she places it on the calendar, or he places it on the dates that they can do that. So it's a date bucket list. Kind of a cute idea, but it's how to schedule or acknowledge and schedule the things that you've been talking about doing, maybe never did. And so these are some ideas on the special day. Remember, if you're giving chocolates, know whether your loved one likes dark chocolate, white chocolate, or milk chocolate. To give them a kind of chocolate they won't eat doesn't work, but you give them something that you know they like, a type of chocolate. And if they're not into chocolate for some reason, you can give them a special candy of their choice, and even candy can be printed out. They have candies that are printed out with "I love you" as well. But you can put that into a heart-shaped box. And if they're not into candy, or they're into healthy things, you can put healthy chocolates that you can get in the health food store, and you can put those in a box and line them up and give them that. So whatever it is that they're interested in, that's what you give them if you're giving just something simple, chocolates and flowers. Okay, let's talk about the psychology of Valentine's Day. So the first one is an article by Your Dose, who's an emotional wellness coach, and he does a blog, yourdose.com. And he says, if you're stressed over Valentine's Day, here's what you can do. Valentine's Day is considered the holiday of love for people to celebrate their significant other, but for some, it isn't a rosy day. Here's a little secret to make you feel better. According to data compiled by a social media platform, We Heart It is the name of the media platform, around 65% of people have said that they feel stressed about Valentine's Day. So you're not the only one. Factors for the rise in anxiety about Valentine's Day include expectations, where Valentine's Day come with an array of expectations, including gifts, special dinners, and romantic gestures. Setting such high expectations can lead to disappointment, as well as trying to fulfill such expectations can lead to tension. Research by McNulty and Carney in 2004 supports that couples with high positive expectations are more likely to face disappointment, instability, and dysfunction than couples with more realistic expectations. Many young teens seem to think that social media is essential to Valentine's Day experience. Also, 65% said social media either made them feel jealous or stressed out. 34% said they got jealous, 31% said they got stressed. Valentine's Day plans like dinners, destinations, celebrations are usually more public and talked about on conversation, even shared on social media. Seeing and hearing about others' perfect accounts of their celebrations makes it difficult to avoid comparing. These comparisons can lead to dissatisfaction and frustration about our way of celebrations, even though it could have been enjoyable. Research by Wheeler and Miyake, 1992, and Pruick et al. In 2011 supports that social comparison negatively affects a person's self-esteem and well-being. Individuals' pressure on not knowing how to deal with singlehood, loneliness, how to express love for their partner in the right way, and heartache for those that have recently broken up can add to the stress felt on Valentine's Day. So how do you not stress on Valentine's Day, but instead have a great time? All right, so one way, avoid Valentine's Day performance anxiety by reminding yourself that your relationship is not all about one day. Remind yourself that attention and commitment to your partner are more important than the perfect celebration on Valentine's Day. Next, talk in advance. Discuss with your partner how you want the day rather than how it should be. Discuss how you want it. Leave the stress behind by talking about the day in advance, how you want to spend it. This will clarify each partner's wishes and help you let go of the huge expectations. And next is make time for relaxation. It's not compulsory to make grand gestures to express love. A long walk or a home-cooked meal or anything else that shows you both out can also be great. Avoid comparisons. Understand that people show their love in different ways. Your best friend's partner may shower her with flowers while you had a simple day for Valentine's. But before you come to the conclusion that your friend has the better deal, try to focus on your relationship and what the two of you did, not what someone else receives. That make sense? If you are single, think back and reflect. Others might encourage you to do something about it, especially for Valentine's Day, but you should not depend entirely on others' advice. Rather, you should take these decisions based on your personality and circumstance. So maybe you go out with friends, celebrate with them, celebrate with other people that are single. Could be done. You may realize that you need to work on your confidence first before approaching someone, or might decide that you want to be on your own and hence need to learn to be comfortable being single. Talking to a counselor can be helpful in addressing these concerns. This is one person's take on it from February 8th of 22 by Dr. Patrick Keelan, a registered psychologist, and he writes about how to deal with Valentine's Day stress on his own blog. Although Valentine's Day brings many people love, romance, and enjoyment, for others it is a stress-filled day which they must endure. People who are lonely as a result of not being in intimate relationships, couples in relationships lacking in enjoyment, and those who feel pressure from having to deliver romantically are among the many in our population who experience emotional difficulties with this icon of romantic days on our calendar. In this article, I will first identify the reasons some people have trouble getting through Valentine's Day. Then I'll provide strategies to make it easier to deal with these different types of Valentine's Day stresses. I have helped clients to use these strategies successfully in my role as a Calgary psychologist and a Cochrane psychologist. This is what Dr. Patrick says. Causes of Valentine's Day stress. If you believe your relationship is not going well, the resulting stress you feel may be intensified by being exposed on Valentine's Day to relationship ideals of which you believe you are falling short. When you are bombarded with messages in the media and elsewhere of couples who appear to be deeply and passionately in love with each other, it is easy to feel inferior by comparing yourself to these couples. Even if your relationship is going well, you may feel performance anxiety stemming from the belief that you must hit a home run on this special day by getting the right flowers or other gifts for your partner or choosing the perfect venue for a romantic dinner. If you're not in a relationship, your feelings of loneliness and self-esteem may be intensified by seeing and hearing about couples in intimate relationship all Valentine's Day long. Now, before I continue, I wanted to say that one of the most important things to me in Valentine's Day, if you're expressing a feeling to a friend or a loved one, however you're doing it, is to put your heartfelt feelings in a card. You get a card, whatever card you resonate with in the store, but add to it your own personal words. Never let a card speak for your words. Add the personalness of telling them what makes them special, why you appreciate them, and why this day means something to you. So whether it's a friend or loved one, write your words in a card and deliver your words even in someone else's card. And you don't even need a card. If you delivered it in a letter, it would be fine. Okay, that was my take. Let's get back to Dr. Keelan's work. He said, strategies to deal with Valentine's Day stress. If you're using the following techniques, you should find Valentine's Day less stressful, and you may even enjoy it. View the romantic images you're exposed to in a proper perspective. If you're feeling that your relationship is lacking by comparison, when you see couples behaving romantically towards each other, remind yourself that you are only getting a brief snapshot of these couples' relationships. Were you to spend time observing more of these couples' interactions, you would likely find that their relationships also have problems and that your relationship does not appear so bad by comparison. Next is recognize that advertising portrayals of romance tend to be distorted and idealistic. If you feel that your relationship does not measure up to those portrayed in advertising leading up to Valentine's Day, recognize that it is unlikely that anybody's relationship could measure up to these portrayals. Advertisers are driven to maximize profits, and they do so on Valentine's Day by exposing consumers to associations between their products and idealistic images of romance. Keep that in mind. All right, next is counteract Valentine's Day performance anxiety by reminding yourself that your relationship is not all about one day, like we were saying before. Many people feel pressured to deliver on Valentine's Day by getting their partners the ideal flowers or other gifts, choosing the perfect restaurant or romantic dinner, or coming up with the brilliant romantic words or phrases to say and write to their partners. Although it is appropriate to express romantic feelings towards your partner through these various means, the pressure some people feel to get it just right can often detract from their enjoying Valentine's Day and their time with their partners. You can reduce this stress and improve your enjoyment and relaxation by reminding yourself how you behave towards your partner on the other 364 days of the year is much more important than whether you achieve the ultimate in romantic behavior towards them on Valentine's Day. In other words, if you consistently behave in a loving manner towards your partner the rest of the year, failing to achieve perfection with your Valentine's Day romantic efforts will do little to detract from your partner's positive feelings towards you. Similarly, if you don't consistently behave in a loving manner towards your partner the rest of the year, knocking it out of the park romantically on Valentine's Day will have at best temporary positive effects on your partner and your relationship. So think about that. It's not just a one-day affair. It's about being thoughtful and considerate of your partner the entire year and time you're with. Okay. If Valentine's Day leaves you feeling genuinely concerned that your relationship doesn't measure up, this may be a signal for you to take action. It is possible that your relationship may indeed be lacking in intimacy or have other issues which need to be addressed. Couples counseling or relationship counseling can help you work on these concerns so that you can feel good about your relationship on Valentine's Day throughout the rest of the year. In some instances, the action you may need to take is ending your current relationship so that you may move on to a relationship which is more enjoyable. A couple of weeks ago, I talked about when to know if it's time to move on and when to give it another chance. You can refer to that for guidance. If you are not in an intimate relationship and feel especially lonely on Valentine's Day, this may also be a signal for you to take action. The kind of action for you to take when you're lonely may vary depending on your circumstances and personality. For example, you may want to work on building your friendship network or perhaps explore opportunities which you may facilitate you becoming involved in an intimate relationship. And for instance, the action you take to deal with your loneliness may be working on yourself by learning to be comfortable being on your own and perhaps building your own self-esteem. Going for depression counseling or self-esteem counseling may be helpful to you in addressing these concerns. Now, I want to add on my own here that if you are having problems in engaging in a relationship, if you've tried and it didn't work out for whatever reason, if any of the time you think might be attributed to something you've said or done or how you act, you can reflect on that. And you can write down all the ways you think you treat somebody well and all the ways you think you may have goofed up. just to see it with your own eyes. Think about something you might have done to offend someone, something you said, something you did. Or if you did nothing wrong, then at least acknowledge the things you did right so that you can have it on paper, see it for yourself. And then you'll know if there's anything you can correct to make things better. Maybe you're not meeting enough people. I did a podcast on how to meet people and make friends. Maybe you need to go and make friends, and that will lead to having someone special in your life. So all of these things are something to reflect on if you're sitting alone. It's not your fault. Don't beat yourself up over it. It could be just totally circumstance. But if there is anything you can do better to have someone stay with you that you meet, then you'll know by writing it down. Okay. Now, be good to yourself, and Valentine's Day is his last thought. If you don't have someone you love whom you can share Valentine's Day, focus on being good to yourself that day rather than engaging in self-torture by comparing yourself to romantic couples you see around you and in the media. Give yourself a treat by making or ordering a special meal. Love yourself, in other words. Watching a favorite movie, relaxing in a warm bath, or engaging in other activities that makes you feel good. If you treat yourself well, it'll be easier for you to feel good about yourself, even though you do not actively participate in the romantic activities of Valentine's Day. If you engage in these activities, which help you feel good about yourself on Valentine's Day and other days, this will increase the likelihood that potential romantic partners will be attracted to you. So next time Valentine's Day rolls around, you are more likely to be celebrating the occasion with a romantic partner. Remember, you can also celebrate with friends. Nothing wrong with that. You have a few friends get together and enjoy, Valentine's Pal Day or Friendship Day. Valentine's Day, they call it. You can do that. All right, the next is an article by Karen Cassidy, PhD. Karen served as president of the Anxiety and Depression Association of America and is founder of the Anxiety Treatment Center of Greater Chicago. And she writes about, this is on April 13th, 2019, February 13th, 2019, Valentine's Day, Day of Love or Day of Longing. And she says, what comes to your mind when you think of Valentine's Day? If you suffer from anxiety and worry, there is a good chance that you are concerned about being disappointed or about disappointing someone. If you do not have a romantic partner, then your anxiety might be focusing your worry on never having a partner or never finding a great love. If you are depressed, then you might be experiencing more cynical thoughts about the commercialization of the holiday, the futility of romantic relationships, or even your own unworthiness for a fulfilling romance. No wonder so many people who share your suffering come into the therapist's office dreading Valentine's Day. You do have a choice, however, to do things that overcome the unhelpful ideas generated by your anxiety or depression. You can do things today that help to build joy, love, worthiness that make Valentine's Day what it was meant to be, a holiday that celebrates love. Here are some hot tips that will help you redeem this day. 1. Set helpful expectations. If you are in a romantic relationship, then you need to accept that both you and your partner are flawed human beings who cannot possibly create a perfect day of celebration just because it's Valentine's Day. Our Western culture myth of two people who perfectly understand each other without having to be told what to do and who perfectly support one another at all times without generating conflict is unattainable. When you accidentally believe in a false ideal and compare yourself to this false ideal, then your relationship will always come up as a failure. Instead, think of creating a time to be yourselves with each other, your way. Talk to each other about what you think would feel special. You might also need to celebrate at a more convenient time when work or social schedules are more convenient. If you are single, do something that expresses love and appreciation for yourself. You know about Friendsgiving, the dinner you hold after Thanksgiving when you're with your close friends. Why not do the same thing for Valentine's Day? Set up a meal with a close friend or a video conference, dine or chat. Do something indulgent that shows the love you wish to receive from others. Mentally healthy people do not wait for others to give them compassion, gratitude, or pleasant experiences. They realize they can do this for themselves. So reflect on that, because it's important for being healthy. If you are alone, just be happy with yourself first, and others will see that you're happy and will gravitate towards you for friendship and for romance. And then make that list of things that you think you're doing and any personality traits that you think you might improve on. All right, let's get back to the article. Number 3, if you feel particularly lonely or unloved, take the time to write down a list of the people who have loved you in your life and have shown you care and compassion. Focus upon your gratitude for their influence on your life. This could be a past teacher, coach, tutor, aunt, grandparent, therapist, or friend. This will remind you that you are indeed connected to the human community. I love that thought. What a wonderful sentiment to acknowledge all the love in your life, any person in your life that appreciates you, respects you, and cares about you. That's important. Number 4 on his list, if you are having conflict with your romantic partner, write a letter of gratitude to them. We spoke about gratitude in past episodes. Gratitude is so important to show. All right, getting back to it. They say this will help you refocus upon what brought you together in the first place. Couples with successful relationships focus upon the good things in each other, and they tell their partners about these things. So it's important to share that. 5, if you are alone, write yourself a letter of gratitude about your ability to persevere, to give to others, to be a good friend or a good worker. Give yourself the words of affirmation that you want to hear. If you are brave enough, call a friend and ask them to tell you what they like and admire about you. Dare to listen to their words and write them down so you can savor them. Another good idea. I love this thought. Write down the things that you appreciate about yourself even, and the things that you feel are your strengths. Get to know yourself and give gratitude to the good things in your life. Next is from an article, February 14th of 22, in Psychology Today by Joe Fort, PhD. He says, Valentine's Day is considered the most romantic holiday of the year, but for many it represents weeks of needless, often overwhelming pressure to come up with yet another grand romantic gesture to demonstrate your love for your partner. For singles, it can be a dreaded day of shame that spotlights that you are alone and have no one to love. It can feel like Singles Awareness Day. Both scenarios are wrong. They bring complete, unnecessary, unrealistic expectations and pressure to couples and singles. Here's why, he says. Valentine's Day has snowballed into an out-of-control commercialized holiday. Sales for this day alone were surpassed $18 billion. That was 2 years ago. People will spend an average of $130 to tell someone they are special. Approximately 145 million Valentine's Day cards are sold, and more than $4 billion is spent on diamonds, gold, and silver, all as an expression of love. A study released by the dating app Plenty of Fish says 43% of singles consider Valentine's Day the highest pressure holiday of the year. Through this study, researchers learned that singles are frustrated by the unrealistic expectations forced on them through advertising, social media, and society, declaring February 14th as the most romantic day of the year. In fact, the study shows that 37% of singles feels compelled to find a date so they won't feel ashamed that they are alone on Valentine's Day. For couples, the pressure is on to make the day the most romantic and memorable one of the year. Is this even possible? And why should someone feel pressured to deliver a gesture of love that tops them all? This easily can lead to disappointment and heartbreak for everyone. Forcing people to declare the grandest demonstration of love on one single day can be a recipe for disaster. And if you're a single, how do you shamelessly hold it together when your coworkers receive beautiful bouquets of flowers delivered to the office while your desk is conspicuously empty? Who wants to feel that single shame, and why should anyone? Here is a few recommendations that may help take off the pressure. Number 1, celebrate Valentine's Day on another day. Enjoy a romantic dinner at one of your favorite restaurants and avoid the crowds and overpriced menu. Next, stay home and enjoy quality time with your partner. Cook dinner together or order carryout. Open a bottle of wine you've been saving for a special occasion and just enjoy each other's company. After all, isn't that the whole purpose of relationships? For each other's company, I'm thinking here. All right. Better yet, he says, talk about how you want to celebrate or not celebrate Valentine's Day. Decide together if you want to indulge and how you plan to do it. Make sure you are in agreement. Be open and honest with each other. If you have been in a relationship for a while, you should know your partner's love language by now. Is she telling you not to fuss, but you know she really does want that grand romantic gesture? Have clearly stated expectations for the day so no one will be disappointed. If you are single, choose Valentine's Day as a self-care day. Get a manicure or pedicure, treat yourself to a new pair of shoes, or sip a glass of wine while enjoying a bubble bath. Pamper yourself. Celebrate the special person that you are. In the end, what truly matters? Why should one Hallmark declared holiday be the only day to show your love and affection for your partner? Relax, enjoy Valentine's Day the way you want, not the way everyone is telling you you should. A few more thoughts about Valentine's Day are, if you are in a relationship, make sure you and your partner are on the same page about Valentine's Day expectations. Box of chocolates won't do if she was dropping hints about jewelry, for example. Have a clear, honest conversation so no one will be disappointed. Next, match your gift to the stage of your relationship. We were talking about this before. If it is new, flowers and candy are good choices. An over-the-top gift, like expensive jewelry, may not be the right message to convey so soon. And this would relate to something we did before, an episode on love bombing, where we talked about when it's too soon, showering someone with all kinds of love things. If it's not reciprocated and it's too early, it's just the wrong timing, right? Next, he says, don't expect your partner to become Cupid for one day. Some people just aren't romantic, and Valentine's Day isn't going to change that. Keep your expectations realistic. And lastly, he says, remember that there's no right way to celebrate Valentine's Day. As long as you have clear expectations, this day can be special without grand, expensive gestures. Focus on the love you share every day. All right, so that's his article. And the last thing I wanted to share, we're going to do episodes in the next few weeks on anxiety of relationships in general. And here, I just want to give a little teaser as relates here about relationship anxiety, and then we'll cover it in the next several weeks in detail. All right, so relationship anxiety is a real thing. Whether or not people admit it, 34% say that relationship stress is the leading cause of their mental health concerns. So as Valentine's Day approaches, here are a few tips to let you know if your relationship is with the right one. This is in Live Happy magazine, and it's a very good magazine, which I recommend you go to livehappy.com and you can take a look at it, all the different topics they have there. This is by Dr. Lauren Cook, who is a licensed clinical psychologist, company consultant, author, and speaker. She's got a master's in marriage and family therapy, frequently appears on TV shows and such. And you can visit her website, drlaurencook.com, if you want more from her. She says, don't play games, at least not the kind that leave you up worrying all night. The healthiest relationships include clear communications where there aren't mixed messages, ghosting, and intermittent hot and cold seasons. These games may seem sexy at first and keep you on the edge of your seat, but they'll ultimately leave you dizzy and distressed in the worst. If you are constantly fretting about whether or not the person is going to leave you and if they really like you, it's likely not your best match. Why? Because you're often worrying about how the other person feels about you, that you have little time to question if you actually like the person. Interesting perspective. Next, she says, create more positive experiences. This would go along with the fact that you don't have to think of Valentine's Day as just one day of expressing love. Think about creating experiences all year round. So she says every relationship goes through low points that is not necessarily cause for concern. However, we need to have ideally 3 positive experiences with our partner for every negative one. Keep that in mind. You and your partner want to be intentional about creating these positive experiences together so you're not getting pulled down into a negative spiral. Years ago, when I was teaching motivation, I would say that, talking about negativity and positivity, that it takes 10 people to push a car up a hill. It only takes 1 to roll it down a hill. Or you can have a perfectly good bowl of soup, but if you spit in it, it ruins it. So, you want good experiences to offset any negative experience. Now, if you find that you or your partner are ruminating, holding grudges, and unwilling to come back together after a disagreement or conflict, she says, that's something to start challenging. It's not so much about the fight, which can actually be healthy. It's more about each of your openness to repair the relationship afterward. So important. Next, she says, having doubts may not always be a problem. The better question to ask yourself is if this particular problem is one that you can deal with now and the next 20 years. Every relationship is going to have its issues. You just need to determine if these issues are absolute deal breakers or if they're livable discomforts that you can work through. There's no need to shame yourself if this particular problem set is something that you especially struggle with. For example, some people are especially triggered if their partner has a drinking problem because of family history, while others are able to sit with it a little more. This doesn't make you an unloving partner. It just means you're aware of what your boundaries are and when too much is too much. Next is agree on the things that you can't compromise on. Where I see couples in my practice, she says, really get into a bind when they cannot agree on something that's non-negotiable, such as whether to have a baby, get married, or move to a particular location. She finds that you can't go halvesies on these things, and therefore it's so important to be clear on what you want for your life when it comes to big life decisions rather than paying it court. This has to do with communications. You need to communicate with your partner, understand their needs and their wants, and make sure, in the very beginning especially, that you're in sync with most of the important issues. Be honest with yourself and each other, and take people for their word when they say what they want for their lives. They could change your mind, but that's a lot of pressure to put on yourself to try to convince them otherwise. Okay. So give yourself grace this Valentine's Day, she says. If you're looking for love or wondering if you found one, the one, no relationship is perfect. And if you're waiting for a flawless relationship, there'll be many more boxes of chocolates eaten solo. Embrace the mess and lean into the imperfections. That's what finding and being with your one, quote unquote, is all about. That's Dr. Lawrence's her take. And so what we want to leave you with is that Valentine's Day is a made-up day that is supposed to be special. And fine. There's nothing wrong in having a day to celebrate love with friends, love with family, love with a special someone. But be yourself. And remember that all year round is what matters the most. You can't be good one day and be bad 364 days and expect a relationship to last. So try to respect your other one, family members, your friends. Try to treat them in the right manner all year round. And on this special day, express it the way you feel is appropriate. If you know what chocolates they like, what food they like, what flowers they like, get them something they do. If it's a gift that matters, get something that's personal, something like the unique ones we went over in the very beginning. Replay the tape in the beginning and hear the ones that we gave that are very unique. But overall, enjoy your day. If you're alone, pamper yourself. Treat yourself as the one who loves yourself, you. There's nothing wrong in that. You deserve it. You work hard all year. You deserve to be with friends. You deserve to even enjoy yourself and pamper yourself. Single. If you're with someone special, appreciate that day. Appreciate being with that person. And make sure it's about them and not about you, about their needs and what they want. Understand each other's needs and wants. And give that person a calm day, a stressless, relaxing day. And they'll appreciate that the most. So on this coming up Valentine's Day, I hope you all enjoy and have a wonderful day. And remember, you are the one that decides your own health. You're the one that can make yourself healthy and react to situations in a manner that is a healthy reaction versus getting yourself in a tizzy about things that you can't control. And if you can control it, take action, give your partner a wonderful day. Till next time, keep smiling and wake up each morning with a positive attitude. Good day.